Smartphone games are getting better day by day, and some well-known PC game developers are releasing their games for smartphones too. That means you can play some PC games on your mobile. Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome to Android Tools. So today we're going to be counting down our picks for the top 12 best PC console games that have released on Android and iOS. And if you're new here, then please hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon for more videos just like this. Now without further ado, let's get started. Starting off at number 12, we have Bendy and the Ink Machine. This game allows you to become Henry, a former artist who worked for Joey Drew Animation Studio. After receiving an invitation from his former colleague, Henry returned to the studio and found that something unusual was happening here. In the letter, Joey said that there was an interesting thing he wanted to show, but didn't say what it was. The gameplay is a combination of mechanics in various game genres, which is containing a bit of horror, puzzle, and action. The puzzles are relatively simple that you can solve them easily. Next up at 11, we have Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition. This is a portable adaptation of the great Final Fantasy XV, available for consoles and PC. The Pocket Edition has similar game experience and storyline, but with an anime aesthetic, and the gameplay has perfectly adapted to the touchscreen devices. The story of this game is divided into 10 chapters, and you can play the first chapter for free. But of course, if you want to find out what happens in the other 9 chapters, you'll have to purchase them through the app itself. The game has excellent graphics, a fun combat system, and an exciting story. Breaking into number 10, we have Turbo League. Turbo League is exactly as its name suggests, a clone of the great Rocket League, now with controls that are perfectly adapted to touchscreens. But what is Rocket League? Basically, it's a sport in which 6 cars play a game of soccer with a giant ball. In Turbo League, you can play alone or with other players. Alone, you can practice as much as you want or dive straight into matches against bots controlled by the AI. In multiplayer, on the other hand, you can play 3 versus 3 against other players from around the world. Moving on to number 9, we have Unknown Fate. Unknown Fate is a single-player puzzle adventure game where you'll help Richard to get to the truth. The plot of the game begins with the fact that the main character woke up in an unknown world. He has no memories of the past or how he ended up there. Now your main task will be to find out the truth and defeat all the enemies, solve challenging puzzles, travel through a fantasy world, and collect fragments of Richard's lost memories. The game will delight players with an exciting story of searching for various items. Coming in at number 8, we have Human Fall Flat. Now this is a physical-based puzzle game with elements of parkour in which you have to overcome intricate locations, and while it's worth noting that your character is a jelly-like creature, which, moreover, is not firmly on its feet, the usual approach to passing the level doesn't fit. In order to get to the goal, you'll have to connect creativity, imagination, and ingenuity and find a non-standard way of solving the puzzles. In addition, you can pass levels in a cooperative mode in a company of up to 4 people, which will further diversify the gameplay. Now at number 7 is Getting Over It. This is a hardcore game where you'll control the hero who sits in a pot. In this game, you take control of the protagonist and your task will be to lead him through all the trials and overcome the maximum area of the game. All that you'll have to overcome obstacles is a hammer with which you'll climb trees, climb boulders, and high mountains. If you make at least one wrong move, you'll have to pass the level again. Train your agility and nerves and achieve outstanding results. Moving on to number 6, we have Metal Revolution. Metal Revolution is a robot fighting game in a fresh new cyberpunk style. Compared to other traditional fighting games, it has minimalistic controls while still being able to keep depth and balance for the higher level competitive players. Like Rising Thunder, Metal Revolution brings a simplified control scheme. This can make the game slightly easier to get into, however the depth for veteran fighting players is absolutely still there. The gameplay is fast-paced and fluid, and each character has their own ultimate skill that lets you end your opponent in style. Moving on to number 5, we have Standoff 2. Standoff 2 is a multiplayer Counter-Strike style FPS in which 2 teams face off in relatively small environments, and all the maps are clearly based on the original Counter-Strike maps, such as Dust 2 or Italy, but at a reduced size that makes the game experience much more frantic. The control system of Standoff 2 is very well adapted to touchscreen devices, with the virtual directional pad on the left side and the gun's crosshair on the right. By default, your weapon's trigger is on both sides of the screen, making shooting very comfortable. This is a really fun three-dimensional online FPS with great graphics and loads of different weapons. Next up at number 4, we have League of Legends. Everyone loves playing MOBA games where you can become the legend and lead your fellow teams to victory. Of course, there are different people with different goals and expectations. That's why there are hundreds of different champions with characteristics, abilities, and powers. This is also why people claim League of Legends is one of the most popular and surely one of the most absorbing productions that's ever released. But is it possible to play League of Legends on Android or iOS? Well, Riot Games is launching League of Legends on Android, iOS, and consoles in 2020. Coming in at number 3, we have Grid Autosport. Now, Grid Autosport was originally released in 2015 for PC and last-gen consoles, and represented an attempt by developer Codemasters to bring the series back towards a more authentic racing game. And even after just a few laps with a few different cars, I could see that Grid is indeed a demanding, realistic racing game that will challenge even the most experienced racing game players out there. And I've been playing around with different cars to get a feel of how they handle, and I've been amazed at how differently each type of car drives. Next up at number 2, we have Fortnite Chapter 2. Now, Fortnite has made its way to PC, Macs, game consoles, including the Nintendo Switch, and even Android and iOS. But this game is similar to PUBG. 100 players compete on one island to be the last man standing. During the course of the game, players have to survive by scavenging items such as weapons and health packs and killing others before being killed themselves. The area of the island is constantly shrinking as time goes on to encourage confrontation and avoid camping. Now, the last person to survive wins the game. One major change between Fortnite and PUBG is that Fortnite Chapter 2 introduces building mechanics from its Save the World mode to the Battle Royale mode. And finally, at number 1, we have Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile is the first installment of the Call of Duty saga that attempts to transfer the PC and console gaming experience to smartphones. In other words, just like Modern Warfare or Black Ops, this is a multiplayer FPS in every sense of the word. The game includes 2 main game modes, Team Deathmatch and Battle Royale. Both are pretty popular modes in the franchise, and they challenge you to face other online players as well as collaborate with them. Nuketown, Hijacked, or Kill House are just a few of the most popular maps that you can play in. Alright guys, that's our list for today, and I know that some of you guys are thinking, I forgot about PUBG Mobile, Hello Neighbor, Oddworld, Ark Survival, FIFA Mobile, and more. Well, we'll cover them in another video, so stay tuned for that, and thank you so much for watching. As always, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell icon. Bye for now, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace!